It's three guys who combined to play 15 seasons in the National Football League trenches. Well, two guys. And Mackey, who didn't do shit. This is the O-Line Committee.
Look who's got a new podcast set up, everybody.
I was just telling Bear to shut the door. I go, hey, shut the door. Pull the goddamn door shut. All right, we're back. And I'm back. God, it's so good to be back. I missed you guys.
Hot. You're hot. Your mic is hot.
All right, let's do a mic check with Alex to start the episode
mic check,
here.
1 2 1 2. I'm sorry.
I thought we already did this.
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah, but he was like this before the show, and then you get started. He's like, "Hi, everybody. My name's Alex."
Let's go.
I missed you guys, dude. I missed you guys. So much has happened since I've seen you guys.
You missed the Richie interview, which was phenomenal.
Fucking mad about that. I was watching it and it fucking had me dying.
Dude, Richie's so funny.
I'm sorry. I had to miss Bear's graduation. You know what would have happened if I wasn't there. He came down the aisle. We did our handshake in the middle. I was like, oh, it's my dog.
Okay, can we talk about this, though? Like, when did preschool graduations become a thing? I don't remember.
I think.
I don't remember having.
We did them.
No chance,
our parents were like, "Oh, I'm so proud."
I remember we had a 6th grade continuation, which was like, "Hey, you're leaving elementary school, you're going to middle school." You had a middle school graduation, and then a high school graduation. Like that's all I remember from growing up.
Well, I'm not surprised that you don't remember kindergarten. I mean, dude, we have been hitting the head a million times, but no,
generations of people don't remember preschool, so they wonder why. What is this? Is a thing?
I do. Johnny Appleseed. I went to Johnny Appleseed in Lakewood, Ohio. It was amazing. But hey, this is the funniest thing. I get there and they're like going to do this little thing about these kids. And they're like, this is Madeline. And when she grows up, she wants to be a mommy. And everybody's like, oh. Right? And so
that's
it's like,
good. That's very
That's
admirable.
interesting.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden it's like, and this is Brian. And when he grows up, he wants to be a daddy. And I was like, all right, what else?
So
what else are you going to do, dude?
Are they going to be together? Yeah.
Dude, it was great. There was like 2 kids that were like, when we grow up, we want to be firemen. I was super excited about them. Bear said he wanted to be a race car driver out of fucking left field.
Out of left field?
Nowhere.
He's never
mentioned
it.
Dude,
kind of proud of him.
Super similar thing. Oliver had like a post pre-K, like fill out the blank. Like, I like when mommy does this. I like when dad. And the favorite, it goes, my mommy always says, and he put knock it off. And I started just dying laughing when I was reading that, dude. Just like,
dude, kids are the
mommy
best.
always says, knock it off. And it's like, what do I like to do with my dad? Play with race cars. I was like, we played with race cars like 3 times in my entire life. I'm like, okay, sure, buddy. Like, and then when he grows up, he wants to be a spaceship. Not a spaceman. He wants to be a spaceship.
He wants to be the ship.
Like he wants
the ship.
The ship, like the actual ship. He also named our fish Tractor. So like we got to work on some things here, but we're moving right along.
He loves Lamp and he wants to be a spaceship.
Yeah, he wants to be a spaceship. I love Lamp. Look at all those chickens.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun. And then in last night, I have it right here. Grand salami ball. Johnny hit a grand salami yesterday.
That's
and
awesome.
It was crazy because by the time he hit first, I was already running to somebody's front porch to grab it because it had bounced in the street. And all the parents were like, God, Alex doesn't trust anyone to get that ball. I was like, have you met these kids? Like that thing would have been thrown around so fast. I had to save it. I was so excited.
Dude, so over the fence, his first ever over the fence grand slam.
Yep. And it hit the and we were in Bloomington, the Herbeck fields, which are really it's a sweet setup. It's like 7 baseball fields, and like 4 of them are in a rotunda, and it shot out and hit the street and bounced into someone's yard. It was awesome, dude.
Dude, what kind of pitch was it? A little fastball?
Oh, it was a fastball, and
he's
been working with his mom because his mom coaches him out the ass. She's the head coach of the team, and she loves him because he can pitch really well and he plays short really well. But it drives her nuts that he can't hit the ball sometimes, and like he'll go over in a tournament, and she'll be like, it's on. Like, I don't even want to be in the same room. That's why I drive separate now. She hasn't figured it out yet. And so when he hit that, I think she started crying. She was really excited for him. So I was happy for him. And not only that, but the boys needed that win because they've been having some rough, dude. They can't get out of their own way. They just trip over their own feet sometimes. Man. It is hard, dude. You have to be refined. That's what I'm finding out. Very refined.
You're looking at the new assistant YMCA T-ball coach, not by choice.
Wow.
Showed up.
You're going to love it. You're going to love it.
I showed up in my slides, tank top, T-shirt, tank top shirt, just ready to sit down. And the coach is like, I need your help. I was like, okay. He's like, you're going to coach hitting today. I was like, I'm going to let you know one thing. I've never played a single organized inning of baseball in my entire life.
No.
He goes, doesn't matter. Just tell him to line up and swing the bat. I was like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude,
And he's like,
so easy.
He goes, and then you want to know the hardest part of this whole thing? I go, what? He goes, none of them know how to run bases.
Yeah.
He goes, they're going to hit it, and they're going to run to the pitcher's mound, and then they're going to hit it, and they're going to carry the bat back to the dugout.
Yep.
And he's like, so we need coaches on every base to be like, come here, buddy, run
It's
to
so
me.
fun. Dude,
Like,
it's so fun, though.
It's
oh,
so
my God.
funny. A bunch of 4-year-olds out there just trying to figure their life out.
Yes, Bears, that we call that rookie camp, and Bears going through that now, and all the kids went through it, and you literally have to be like, no, come here. And then, like, you got to get them all excited, like, slide, go down. And they're, like, looking at you like, who are you? What are you doing? Dude, it's
and then
so
do you have to
fun,
explain like what a force out is versus a
No.
tag out?
At
or
this
is
point,
that not?
at this point,
Dude,
it's
the
like,
12-year-olds are having a hard time.
dude, at this point, like the games, it's a 20-minute practice, which is literally like throw the ball into the hoop on the fence. And then it's a hit the ball off the tee. And then it's a 30-minute game, which is just each team gets to bat all the way through twice. And then like the kids are just standing in the outfield, like playing with their pants.
Dude, baseball, I feel like baseball in 2020, I grew up on baseball.
So addicting.
Like, baseball is so doomed and screwed in our one now
I don't
society.
think so. I don't think so.
I'm
Dude,
gonna
the numbers tell you that it's going
I'm
down
gonna
the
force
toilet.
I'm gonna force my son not to play. I'm just gonna put
Not
it
to
that way.
play?
I don't want to spend this is selfish. I'll take the selfish fine. I'm not spending my summers at a ballpark, dude. I'm not doing it.
What do you plan on
not
doing
doing
with your summers then if you're not at
Track.
the ballpark?
Track.
What?
Dude, I've been talking with a bunch of dudes in the sports science world about it. Track for a young person is one of the best developmental sports of all time. Like for young people, teaching them how to run, teaching them how to control their body, like body mechanics wise.
It's not like sprinting or shot put or both.
No, I'm talking about like sprinting or just running in general. Like when they're young, like they're not huge, like sprinting is great. I'm talking like 5 to 10 here. Right? Like
you don't think standing in left field for 2 hours with your glove in your hand, waiting for a ball to get hit to you is?
I'm all about the development side of it. I think it's phenomenal. Like my wife's in the coaching world now. Like she coaches at the gym. She's getting her CSCS, her strength and conditioning specialist. Like she's all about that development stuff. So I think track's going to be where we put the kids in the summer.
Okay. But like javelins, none of that stuff. It's just going to be.
I mean, as they get older, I'm not
hurdles
putting a shot put in my kid's hands until he's old enough to not screw his shoulder.
Did you do track? Did you shot put?
I did shot put. Yeah.
We all did. We all had to do
like,
shot put.
Jay looks like he was a shot putter.
Dude, track was my favorite sport in high school. You know why? Because we always would go there and we'd have like 2-hour bus rides. And so I'd bring a cooler and we'd bring a George Foreman. Or not like a George Foreman type electric grill. And we'd find a place to plug it in because you show up in the morning, you throw in prelims, you qualify for finals, and finals aren't till like 4 p.m.
Throw some
so then we
grill.
just grill out. We would just all the old linemen that threw shot and disc would just sit there and we just grill out and hang out. And I loved shot. I loved it.
It was a little
disc
boring,
was fun
though.
too. I mean, it was boring, but it was something to do.
And
What
you know
else
what
were
was
you gonna do? I wasn't going to play baseball. It's 285 pounds.
Do you remember the dude Mike DeAndrea?
And I wasn't going to wrestle. Absolutely not.
Do you remember Mike DeAndrea from Ohio State? He was a linebacker. He never ended up playing. He was a little bit before you. He was one of the shot putters in our state when we had to do it, and he could throw it so fucking far that it made it so not fun because people would look at you and be like, "You're going to throw that like that too, huh?" And you'd be like,
Nope.
No, I'm not.
Dude, it was
like,
always the little guys. It was always the little guys, like the linebacker bodies that just get in there.
That's
and
exactly
spinning.
what he was.
Dude, they just start spinning. Like I couldn't spin. Every time I tried to spin with the shot, it would like come away from my neck, and I thought I was gonna break my.
So did you
wrist.
do the skip?
I did the glide,
the jump thing. Yeah.
hop, turn. Oh yeah.
You're such a nerd. God, I hated it. It was
Dude,
so
if you
terrible.
can uncover like Jeremiah Sirles track and field footage from high school,
Please.
we need to
There
please
isn't.
play it
There
on
was-
the show.
I mean, my dad's old VHS recorder. I don't
Yeah,
know.
dude.
I don't. I'll have
Please
to try
go
and
find
I'll
those.
see if
Send
I
it
can find
over.
some. I did do the Fat Man relay one time. We did the 4x1. Did you ever do that, Alex?
Yes,
The
yes.
The Fat Man relay fell straight on my face, handing off the baton. Straight on my face. Borrowed
Please
my buddy's
find
track spikes. Buddy my borrows track spikes. Ripped the shit out of them. Like, oh yeah, it was bad. I was cooking though. I was cooking.
Never
down
doing
back
that
stretch.
again.
No, did it one time. I was like, nope.
Dude,
that's
we'll
not that.
convert those VHSs for.
Oh, I need to see this for sure. I need
We'll
to see
find it.
this.
I'll see if I can find it.
So our big boy, we're gonna do big boy question of the week, which is going to be very juicy here. We've got some mics and some
What
great
happened?
dumb football questions.
What's
What do you mean?
juicy?
What happened?
You're like, this is very juicy. What happened?
It is.
It's going to. It's me. It's me versus you here, bud. It's
what
me
is it?
versus you
Potatoes.
in our NFL rankings.
Because the dumbest, the big boy football question is, who has the best offensive line in the league?
I'm really
How would
nervous
you-
about this.
How would you rank them? And you guys, at least Jeremiah ranked all 32 offensive lines in the NFL.
Oh yeah.
And it looks like Boone did too.
I was up until 2 a.m. doing this actually, and
I gave myself like 3 hours. I had like legit work to do this morning. I was like, no, I got to do this. I know. I agree. Locked in for this. Once the kid canceled that meeting this morning, we were supposed to have a meeting with her kid, and when he pushed it till tomorrow, I was like, yes, all morning to rank my O-lineman, baby.
All right, listen.
A job, push it aside, clowning around on microphones.
So the biggest problem I have. Hold on. Before we go, the biggest problem I have before we start is projecting how someone's going to do, and that's where all of a sudden, that's where I'm starting to see, because it's easy to throw the list, and then you go, okay, well, who did they add and where did they go, and then all of a sudden you're like, but where is this guy going to play, right? Like
rookies.
I'll give you the best example.
Where rookies going to play?
Where does Troy play? And all of a sudden, in my mind, I go, this is a big fucking problem to have, and not only that, but it's like in my list, it's very like,
well,
this is where
also
I think.
Talifuaga. Where does he play?
The Saints. They're on my list too, because there's Trevor. What's going on? Like where?
So I've projected. So I've also listed out. I've listed out all 5 starters where I think all 5 starters are going to be, and I'm also looking at who's going to be. Hey, who's second year guys that are position movers, right? Like Paris Johnson played right tackle last year for Arizona. He's going to bump over to left tackle this year, right? So yeah, Mackey did the quarterbacks a few weeks ago. That was fun. That was like easy. It's one position. We're going into the big boys, all 5 guys, top way too early. 2024 O-line rankings here. It's going to get juicy.
Okay, I have a couple questions. One, how do we do this in an organized fashion? We should have fleshed this up
1 and 2
without it taking 5 hours. You know,
well,
I don't think you can break down all 32 times 5 guys. So you need.
How about this? What if we stop at like 20?
How about we do 3 installments? We do 3 installments. We do the top 10 this week. We could do 10, 20 next week, and then we'll finish 20 through 32 in 3 weeks.
So basically, today is going to be the 10 best offensive lines, and then at some point we'll do the 10 worst offensive lines, and then the middle ground. Okay.
Yeah, we'll start today with the top 10.
I love it, dude. What a content machine!
I know, I'm obsessed with this.
Look at this real time, just thinking, just moving. Wheels are greased today.
We're such an organized podcast. So Jay, let's start with Jay. Give us your top 10. And then Boone.
Oh no, just give me your top 2
after,
and I'll give you my top 2.
I'll go. Okay, I'm gonna go top 5. Boone will go top 5. I'll go 5 to 10. He'll go 5 to 10. All right,
that works. Okay, here we go.
All right, my number one, the number 1 offensive line in the NFL for the 2024 season is the Detroit Lions. They are the Detroit Lions. You've got Taylor Decker at left tackle, Graham Glasgow, Frank Ragnow. They brought in Kevin Zeitler, which is a huge, big upgrade, big veteran in the room. And then obviously you have the best right tackle in the league in Penei Sewell, right? So, that's all of it. And Mackey, I made a nice Word document that I'm going to send to you so we can use for the graphics department because, it's just beautiful. It's
great.
And then, all right, so that's number 1, right? I mean,
by the way, I agree with you 100%.
Okay, I think that works. If we agree,
number one, Fraley is their O-line coach. I love him to death. Number 2, you know how much I love this offensive line. They're coming back. The way they play football, Dan Campbell, like everything fits them to do what they're about to do. They're going to be fucking juiced this year.
How much does this is kind of a dumb football question mixed in here. When you have the Lions number 1, how much is it just the individual talents versus the scheme pulling great talent together? How do you sort of separate those two?
I ranked this off talent. I didn't rank this because, I mean, if you want to say who's the best O-line, like think about some of the Tom Brady O-lines that Tom Brady was so good for so long, but that O-line wasn't great. Like I took this as ranking as like pure talent across the board as an offensive line position.
Like I had Brock Purdy outside my top 10 quarterbacks, even though he put up the numbers of a top 3 quarterback.
Right, a number 2 quarterback. Right.
Scheme,
we agree.
Yep. Okay.
It's talent. Yep. We're based on this on talent. I'm serious. Who's number 2?
Number 2, this was tough. This was a really hard one for me, but I went with the Cleveland Browns. As number 2. I think last year, people are going to be like, are you kidding me? Look what happened last year. They were decimated with injuries. I mean, they started like 6 different tackles. Like they were a disaster. But when that group is healthy from left to right, you got Willis at left tackle, Bitonio at left guard. You've got Ethan Posick at center, Wyatt Teller, and then you've got Jack Conklin or DeJuan Jones at right tackle. Right, you're talking about 6 super quality offensive linemen that have played a lot of football in this league for a long time. Couple All-Pros on that team. Like they lost Callahan, which is going to be interesting how they kind of bounce back. Right, Callahan's looked at as one of the GOAT O-line coaches forever, but that group across the board is extremely talented at every single position.
Okay.
All right, so that's 2.
Okay.
You want to go 2, Alex? What do you got?
No, you
Yeah,
keep.
we-
no,
Oh, you want me to keep going?
Jay,
All right,
go
I'll
through
keep
5.
going.
Go through
Okay.
5. Go through 5, and then Booty will go.
Number
through.
3, the Atlanta Falcons. Right? The Atlanta Falcons for me are number 3. Again, you've got Jake Matthews, stalwart left tackle. Right? He was my class. Right? He got drafted with me in 2013. Dude is still out there, just one of the best left tackles in the league. You're going to see Matthew Bergeron, who was a mid-round pick. I think he was a third-round pick out of Syracuse last year. He's going to start for them at left guard. Right? And then you go inside, you got Dahlman there at center. You've got best right guards in the league in Chris Lindstrom. And then you finish it with Caleb McGrary on the outside. Right? Like, so that's another super talented group. I think they're the best zone running group in the NFL. Right? If I'm going to put a zone running teach clinic on, I'm going to pull up Atlanta Falcons film.
Oh,
right? The way that they run, the way that they go,
We do.
aiming points, how they get off the ball. Like, I use them as examples all the time. Right? Okay. Number 4 is Philly. Right? Philly here. Now they
losing a Hall of Famer.
They lose Travis Kelce, but they drafted Cam Jurgens 3 years ago to replace Kelce.
Jason
right?
Kelce, by the way.
Excuse me, Jason Kelce. They draft Jurgens to replace Kelce. Kelce ends up coming back. Jurgens gets some really good starts at right guard for them, right? So they move him into center now. They have Jordan on the outside at left tackle, who's a stud. They just paid Landon Dickerson $21 million a year at left guard. They're going to input Tyler Steen in at right guard, right? He was a mid-round pick last year out of Alabama. And then you still have Lane Johnson on the edge. Right? So again, from a talent perspective, I know it broke down for them last year, but from a pure talent perspective, they've got dudes up front, all pros, right? Lane Johnson's been an all-pro. Malatat's been a Pro Bowler. I would say his last name wrong. Philly fans don't yell at me. But, I think, again, that's a super talented group. This one, for me, may be a stretch at 5. It may be a stretch.
It's our first hot take here of the.
I have the Colts at number 5. I have the Indianapolis Colts at number 5, right? You got Bernard Raymond going into his 3rd year now at left tackle, right? Struggled his rookie year, got thrown in the fire, had a better year last year. I think this is the year he takes the big jump. You've got Q Nelson, obviously, at left guard, one of the best in the league. Ryan Kelly coming to the end of his career.
Love him, though.
But you also drafted Bortolini, right? Tanner Bortolini out of Wisconsin, who can rotate in it. I think he may start at right guard, or they'll have Will Freeze at right guard, right? So those kind of are interchangeable. You'll have a Rook or Will Freeze, and then you have Braden Smith on the right tackle side, which is, again, very, very good player, right? So that's my top 5. Top 5, Detroit, Cleveland, Atlanta, Philly, Indy. That's my top 5 O-lines going in here. Alex?
We are so similar, it's not even right.
And again, we did not coordinate on this at all.
No, we didn't coordinate on it.
Not only did you not coordinate, but Jeremiah mocked and assumed that Alex would never put in this type of work to rank 32 offensive line.
I didn't. I didn't think you would.
that hard
He didn't
for
respond to the text. He didn't respond to the group message.
I never fucking respond. I am doing something constantly. But what kind of listen? I'm gonna. You know what? Hit me with an
Holy
ultra,
cow.
because here I go. You ready? Watch
Ultra
this,
sensitive.
motherfucker. I constantly tell people I'm not going to answer the text, but I saw it. I will see every text that comes through this phone.
That's
I
not
just
helpful.
don't have.
That's
I
not
literally don't.
helpful at all.
At least give us a thumbs up.
You
on
guys-
the O-line.
and Jay,
Mackey's like, hey, here's our full breakdown of the show. Here's what we're going to do. And Alex just reads it and goes, okay.
Sounds good.
No,
Yeah.
no
7
thumbs
years
up,
of knowing
like
me.
nothing.
7 years of knowing me. I never respond to a text, and yet you'll call me and go, "Hey, did you get the text?" Yeah, I fucking got it. I read it. What do you want me to say? Sure, got it.
Double
I
click
have-
and give me a thumbs up. That's all I need. That's all I
Okay.
need.
All right, here we go. Number 1. I obviously have Detroit too. I could never disrespect them like that.
Yep.
Fucking love them, and I'm all about it. 2, how dare you? How dare you, young man? You had the Browns here over Philly. After you just even said all the all-pros on this team, Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson, dude, you got Landon Dickerson at the left, Cam Jurgens coming in. Plus, who's their coach? I'm telling you, this team is, they're not going to miss a beat. They're going to pick up and they're going to go. And in my opinion, they're the number 2 team. And I agree with you. The Browns are high on my list. But in my opinion, last year with left tackle, we have some issues. Like Jordan Mailata doesn't have that many issues. The interior of this team does not have a lot of issues. If anything, at times you're like, dude, why are you not just smashing the ball even more? But then you forget, like, these dudes break down and then you won't have a team by week 12. Number
you
3.
lost the captain, dude.
I agree,
think
but
if
hey,
Kelsey's there too,
hey,
but like, dude,
if we
can
said that
everyone
all
be
the-
on the same page? Can everyone be on the same page? Like, that's my biggest question mark with Philly. And it's why they
It's
weren't my
not.
second. I went back and forth. It's why they're not my third either.
It's not a question mark in my opinion because he was playing. So it's like, hey, listen, you've been here with us. You know how this shit goes. It's not like, hey, buddy, here's the ball. You do your thing. It's like, hey, you know exactly the communication. You know who needs to be communicated to, and you know how the fuck everybody rolls out here. So just take over and go. That's why I feel like they're 2.
And before you go to number 3, I know you guys are like, you're
We're very
bickering
close.
about the difference between 2 and 4, but you're both literally saying an offensive line that lost one of the greatest centers of the modern era is still a top 5 consensus offensive line.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
to me, that's the
Yeah.
headline takeaway here.
Yeah, the rest of them are that good, dude. Jay said it. They're all pros on this team. They are good enough to step right back in and do what they do.
By the way, okay, I'm going to sprinkle in some of my favorite offensive line statistics here too, because this is what I add when I quit football after 8th grade. The Philadelphia Eagles, according to ESPN.com last year, number 1 in the NFL as a unit in run block win rate. So they won their run blocks as a unit 77% of run plays, which is
their coach is that serious about what he does, and that's why I have them at 2. I mean, obviously Detroit is fucking stacked right now, but Philly, in my opinion, they probably would have been one if Jason would have came back. It'd have been like, hey, they're still going to be the most dominant, but now you have to take a step back, and I give that to Philly. This is where it gets interesting. 3, I had the Falcons there, and I agreed with all of that. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And then I kind of moved them down. And I'll tell you why, because I'm going to move them back to 3. What I switched them with the Chiefs at 4, because in my opinion, they have more players. They have more players than they do up front. They have more talent.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs' interior, in my opinion, is probably the best in the NFL.
Top notch. Completely
Thank
agree.
you.
Top notch.
And this is where I went down a very long rabbit hole last night, and I knew that you and I would start to differ, because this is where you start to figure out, how do you value your O-line? Do you value your tackles more, or do you value your guards? I clearly value guards. I know how important we are. You clearly value tackles, because you're talking about the Falcons, and that's what kind of made me switch it in my mind as I go, yeah, KC doesn't have any tackles, but their interior is so fucking solid that I'm going to put them at 3.
So KC 3, Chiefs are 3 for you.
Just because Thuney, Trey, Trey Smith, and Creed Humphrey in the middle. I mean, they're obviously the best interior, and I see that as like, you can do a lot with that. I've seen what the Saints used to do with a very strong interior. Like, that's how they made their money. They had Carl Nix and Jahari Evans, and they were like, hey, you guys just run them up the field. These guys aren't going anywhere. They're going to stand right here, and they're not going to give an inch. Like, you can win games like that. I've seen it happen. 4 now becomes, so 3 is the Chiefs for me. 4, though, is going to be the Browns, in my opinion. That's where I put the Browns. And I agree with you. They're a very young team. They can do a lot of good things. At the same time, I have to see them do it. Like, this is probably going to be the last time that I'm like, okay, I'm rolling with Petonio and Teller. I love these guys. You know I do. If they would have had one of the toppest centers in the NFL, they may have had the number 1 interior, in my opinion. But right now, that's just the one thing. It's like, Creed's kind of a big deal, and I get that. I get how important he is. So for me, I have the Browns at 4, and then the Falcons will go to 5.
Okay. So you guys match on 4 of your top 5. Mm-hmm. The difference being Booney has the Chiefs at 3, and Jay, you have the Colts at 5. Otherwise, you guys have 4 in different orders, but matching. Yep. That's pretty good consensus. You guys did not collaborate on this.
No. All right. Okay. So now we're back. We're back 6 to 10.
Number 6 through 10. Jay.
Thank you, Madeline. All right. Got my coffee delivery. Okay.
Oh, wow.
That's 6.
Wow, that's a fucking ding. Ferrari fine if I ever saw one.
Oh. All right. At number 6, I have the Houston Texans. At number 6, right? You got Laramie Tunsil, a left tackle, one of the best left tackles in the league. Kendrick Green at left guard. They're going to start Juice Scruggs at center this year. They 2nd-round pick in 2022, right? And then you're going to move over and you're going to have Shaq Mason, vet,
and Fisher,
pure vet, right? And then you're going to have Titus Young at right tackle, right? So I really like that group. They did a great job last year. I think that they're going to continue to take that next jump with that team. But, like, there's a lot of talent, a lot of young. you put Juice Scruggs in between Mason and Kendrick Green, who are two vets who've played a lot of football. It's going to elevate his game, and then you're set on the tackles, right? So I love.
Hey,
Houston.
Scruggs is from Penn State, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
He got taken right after J. Mike, right?
I
John
remember
Michael
that.
went to the Giants. Juice Scruggs went right after him. I have the Chiefs at 7.
Okay.
So I took the Chiefs at 7, and just like Boone said, I'm nervous about the tackle play. I agree. I think the interior.
They did get Kingsley.
They brought Kingsley in, but they're going to be starting Wanya Morris, who was a second-round pick or maybe a late first last year out of Oklahoma, as the left tackle, right? Donovan Smith is gone. So you're going to have Wanya Morris at left tackle, and then you're still going to have Jawan Taylor at right tackle, who flashed at great times last year, but also was the most penalized tackle in the league. Right? So that's why I dropped them down to where I did, just based off the tackle play, because they play a division with Max Crosby, right? And they play with Joey Bosa, and they play with Khalil Mack. Like, they play in a very DN-driven division, right? And so that's why they dropped to 7 on my list out of my top 5, based off the uncertainty at the tackle position.
Okay, I have a question, and I know you're talking about the uncertainty at tackle as to why you have the Chiefs lower than Boone has them. But again, you have the Chiefs 7, Boone has them 3rd. You both really like this offensive line. Here's my question: Patrick Mahomes, 2nd in the NFL last year in lowest sack rate, so he doesn't. Josh Allen number 1, by the way.
Yep.
Allen number 1, Mahomes number 2. Like Jordan Love is in the mix, Jared Goff. So Patrick Mahomes is great at sack avoidance. My dumb question for you guys is, when it comes to avoiding sacks or taking sacks, how much of that is an offensive line stat versus a quarterback stat?
It depends. You'd have to look. That has to be a correlation with how quickly he gets the ball out.
Yeah, it's kind of
right.
hard.
Like Tom Brady at one point was the least sack. He was one of the least sacked quarterbacks of all time, and he couldn't move, but the ball was
out in 1 second.
1.8 seconds.
Right.
Like, Mahomes is very good at getting the ball out. Very good. Josh, I think if you were to look at the time that they hold the football, I bet you Josh is actually much higher, because Josh likes to stand in there and wait and then deliver. Right? Mahomes is very much when he's in rhythm, because you got to remember, they completely changed the way they defended Mahomes like 2 years ago. Right? They were like, hey, you're not throwing it 60 yards over our heads anymore. Right? Like, we're going to make you get the ball out over and over and over again with the short, take the easy stuff. And he just adjusted his game, and the ball started coming out. So I think that's a big reason why he doesn't get sacked.
Yeah. Okay, number 8.
Number 8, I have the New York Jets. I have the New York Jets at number 8.
We agree on that.
Oh, dude, revamped.
We have the Jets at the same team.
You have Tyrone Smith at left tackle, right?
Yep.
You bring in.
Wait. Before you finish this, who's going to be the left guard, in your opinion?
Simpson.
Okay.
From Baltimore, right? They bring in Simpson over from Baltimore. So
has there been any talk about Olu moving in?
Well, I don't know. I think they're going to try and start. I think they're going to try and Olu for a year if they can.
Why?
Right? Because they have Morgan Moses at right tackle, another vet. Right? He's another vet. Played a lot of years. He came in with me too. He's an older guy, but I don't think he makes it through the whole year. I think he's a guy that he's dealt with ankle injuries his entire career. So you have Morgan Moses starting at right tackle. I think Olu Fashanu eventually is going to become the starter at right tackle, right? The 9th overall pick this year. But then you look at Joe Tittman, their second-round center last year. He's going to bump in. He's going to start at center. And you have Elijah Vera Tucker there at right guard too, right? So again, that's an O-line group that if they can stay healthy, right? There's some old dudes in that room now, right? Tyrone Smith has not finished a season in multiple years, right? Which is why I think they drafted Olu Fashanu to be like, hey, you can start at both tackles for us if we need you to, because I doubt that both our tackles make it all 17 weeks.
You just listed a lot of guys for Aaron Rodgers to roll his eyes at this season.
Right?
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers back there getting the ball out. Hey, division winners, baby. So number 8, you have the Jets. At number 9, I have Green Bay. I have Green Bay at number 9. That was a group last year. There's not a lot of huge star power name on this offensive line, but they're all extremely solid players, right? You've got Walker at left tackle going into his second year. Elton Jenkins at left guard, again, Pro Bowler. You've got Josh Myers at center. And then you have, where am I at? Morgan.
Myers.
I think they're going to start Jordan Morgan, their first rounder at right guard.
And Tom. Did you say Tom already?
Zach Tom.
And then Zach Tom at right tackle.
Who's
right?
a phenomenal player.
He can play 5 positions. That dude can literally start in the NFL at all 5 positions, but he's found a home at right tackle, and they're going to keep him there. So I really do think that Green Bay, though you don't recognize them, like there's not a lot of all pros or there's not a bunch of Pro Bowlers, but that group as a whole plays extremely well together.
Number 2 in the NFL last year in pass block win rate as a unit, despite being largely anonymous.
They play very well as a group. And then my 10th, this was a really hard one for me. I had like 3 teams in here that I was like, man, any one of these could be number 10, but I went with the Baltimore Ravens. I went with the Baltimore Ravens at number 10, right? You got Ronnie Stanley, who's been an all-pro, a Pro Bowler. If he can stay healthy, he's a top 3 tackle, top 5 tackle, left tackle in the NFL. You've got Jones. You've got Linderbaum going into his 3rd year. He's an all-pro, Pro Bowler last year, right? You got Ben Cleveland, and then you got Daniel Falehi out there at right tackle. You know, that group runs the football. You've got Lamar Jackson back there. That's a road grading group that might be one of the heaviest offensive lines in the NFL, right? They're just big body dudes. They got Joe DeLisandris, one of the legendary O-line coaches in the league. So Baltimore cracked that 10 spot for me. It was
who
was
it tied with?
I can't tell you because we're going to go over those next week. I can't tell you.
Oh yeah, you're right.
No
You're
spoilers.
right. You're right.
No spoilers. So that's
right.
my top 10. That's my top 10 there. So 5 to 10, it goes 6 Houston, 7 Kansas City, 8 the Jets, 9 Green Bay, 10 Baltimore.
Ah, love this. Okay, Booney, number 6 for you.
Is the Indianapolis Colts. I know, dude. We're so close. We're thinking the exact same way. I'm excited about this group. You obviously know how I feel about Q Nell. He is one of my favorites of all time. He's a badass motherfucker. Ryan Kelly, I've loved him since he came in the league. I think they're going to be a really fun group to watch this year, especially with Anthony Richardson getting back healthy. It's going to be one of these things. It's like if these dudes can start fucking hitting again, the AFC South could be really fucking fun. So I have them at 6. I mean, yeah. Hold on. Oh, that's your list. Sorry. 7. I have the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
For exactly what you just said. They are going to be one of the biggest fucking groups. And didn't they just draft Roger Rosengard?
Yep.
They're getting fucking bigger, dude. Like Joe DeLisandris has a type. He absolutely does. They're big. They're tall as fuck. Their arms are long as fuck, and they can fucking move, dude. Those are his type. I'm excited to see what they do, like for the exact same reasons that you did. They've always been a kind of a road grading unit, and now you get another road grading in the backfield, one of the all-time best to
Derrick
fucking
Henry.
do it. Dude, it's going to be fucking awesome to watch.
So even with the most mobile quarterback of this generation, you're saying independent of Lamar Jackson keeping plays alive, that offensive line stands on its own, even if a different quarterback was back there.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because they stand on the run game. They stand on their ability to run the football.
Correct. All right. What number are we on?
Number 8.
Number 8. Jay and I both agreed on the Jets. I just was thinking more of having Olu bump into left guard at first, because my biggest thing would be, if I know that you're eventually going to play, I want to see you get ready to go. I need you to get the reps. I don't want week 10 to be this.
But do you want reps at guard?
It doesn't matter. Live reps are live reps, dude. Reps are reps. It shows you speed. It shows you how this so that when week 10 comes and they're like, it's your turn, you're not like, well, better dust off the old cleats, get this ready to go. You're like, oh, okay, I'm a little banged up like everybody else. I feel like everybody else. Okay, I can just switch up. Dude, you and I had to do it a million times, and they're making these kids do it all the time. If I see them doing that, then yes, the Jets are at 8 with me, because I think that's a talented fucking left side. Tyron Smith, Olu Fashanu, Joe Tippmann. Whoo, you got some badass motherfuckers.
Here's another dumb question. If you have plans long-term to play a guy at left tackle, but he's blocked right now, would you rather him get live reps at right tackle or left guard?
Right tackle.
Wait, what'd you say?
So let's say you have long-term plans for a left tackle, but there's a starter there right now.
I don't think
Would you rather
it
him
matters.
play on the left side at guard or play at tackle on the right?
Doesn't matter. Where's our weak spot?
I'm big on getting the tackle reps. Like, you have to see the speed that comes off the edge in this group, right? Like, if you're playing, even think about in practice, right? If you're in practice for the Jets, if you're a guard, you're going against Quinn Williams, right? Like, who's just a baller interiorly, or you're going to be going against maybe Haason Reddick on the outside. 2 very different players with different skill sets. Like, if you have long-term to be a tackle in this league, you want to get the tackle reps in game. personally. That's my
Yeah, I
personal
guess
preference.
I see what you're saying, but I guess it's kind of a loaded question because what if you have Panay out there? Are we going to let you play there? No, we're going to let you play guard. So it's like if we don't have an adequate right tackle, yeah, go out there and be our right tackle until we kick you over to left. I mean, there was a lot of guys that did that, but if all of a sudden we have a mauler out there, like, hey, what position could he fit in, and what position are we least lacking? Because then that's where you're going to go. You need to see the liveness of it. You need to get a feel for it, because having you come in week 12 ready to go is not going to help anybody. You're just going to get fucking blown by then. Here we go.
Number 9.
Texans. For the exact reasons that you said. I mean, love them. You know how excited we are about them. CJ Stroud's going to fucking take off this year. They get Joe Mixon down there now. It's going to be super awesome to watch. The talent, the young players that they have, Shaq Mason down there being a leader is going to be huge for them. And Laramie Tunsil is fucking lights out, dude. Like,
so good.
It's almost
so good.
And this is where it's starting to get crazy, because this in my ranking is where we start to have drop-offs. And it's like, okay, we're starting to lose a lot of good players. And while we're starting to be like, could this guy step in and fill a role? Or could this guy play well this year? Can he last the whole year? So we do Texans there. And at number 10, I have, and nobody yell at me. Don't yell at me. I have the Vikings.
I knew you were going to do it.
I love their tackles. I do. I'm sorry. I think that this is where I said you're starting to look around and go, okay, well, you got 2 at least good players out there. Okay, I'll take that over what the rest of the league's
You're
fucking
contradicting yourself as to why you put the Chiefs at 3.
I'm saying the drop off in the league. No,
I love the interior. Like, 10 tackles. Like,
no,
make a decision.
Because I'm saying after this, the teams go to, we got
Don't
one
say
player.
it. Don't.
One player.
No spoilers.
What? Okay, that's what my whole point is. I looked at this team and I go, you guys have at least 2 tackles that I could fucking rely on.
Yeah.
I can count on you guys.
If this was a ranking of just the tackles on every team, the Vikings would be
top 3.
Easily top 10, top 5.
But that's why I'm saying, like, the rest of the league, when you look at what the rest of the league has, you're kind of like, okay, I get it now. All right, Vikings are going to go up in my book. And to me, they could go down quickly in the season if things don't go well. But for me, their tackles are always going to be bookends. I fucking love the way they play. I mean, they're awesome. Christian Darrisaw is going to make himself one of the best left tackles in the game in the next 2 years. Brian O'Neill's been doing it year in and year out. I mean, that's why, in my opinion, I'm like, okay, I can live with this.
I love it, man. So you guys have the 9 matches in different orders in the top 10, and the difference is Booney has the Vikings, and Jay, you have the Packers.
Yep.
So you go ahead and fight him on the Vikings if you want to.
I won't fight him on the Vikings because they're not far behind on his list. I'll just say that. Like,
we think a lot alike.
They're
Mackie.
not far behind on the list at all. And the only reason I have the issue with the Vikings is we all talk about like the interior.
Oh yeah,
right? Like Dalton Reisner. Like, they just signed back Dalton Reisner, so I'm assuming he's going to start at left guard.
Yeah.
Right. You got Garrett Bradbury and you got Ed Ingram. Talk about inconsistency. Like, which Garrett Bradbury are we getting? Are we getting the one that took a big jump last year? Are we going to see a regression? Right.
Yeah.
I mean, for a long time it was going to be Blake Brandel starting left guard, and I'm telling you that would have plummeted them on this list. Like, they wouldn't even been close to where they have.
Oh
right
no,
now.
no, zero chance. Yeah, no.
Right. And then Ed Ingram. This is the year. Like, this is you gotta put it all together.
And I have faith in Ed this year. I think he's going to do it. Like last year, there were steps where we were like, okay,
yeah,
did you see
100%.
that? Did you see that? He's starting to learn, and so now it's like, okay, dude, you're right. And this is kind of the year where the team looks at you not as like, oh, you're our baby, but as you're the redheaded stepchild. And why should we love you enough to keep you around? And so, in my opinion, Jay's
why should we love you to pay you? Right,
exactly.
That's the
which is fair. It's business.
Yeah, it's business. Show us why you should be the starting right guard for the Minnesota Vikings for the next 8 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, that's what this year is for Ed Ingram, and he's taken steps every single year, so he's got to put it all together this year.
What's amazing is the issue. I think a lot of people who watch statue Kirk Cousins, running for his life, if you just watch one team, everyone thinks their offensive line struggles in pass protection because it's a league where you literally have Max Crosby's running around making
Chasing you
$20+ million.
down.
Every team gives up pressures to some extent. So it's funny if you look at, like, the Vikings last year were 3rd in pass block win rate because they've got bookend tackles. It's the run blocking that they have a hard time with. You want the Vikings to run the ball more. It starts up front, and they've had a hard time. And Booney, you did these film breakdowns on Purple Daily every week. So There it is. There's your top 10 offensive lines.
I can't believe we agree on 9 of them.
League.
That's insane, dude.
It is pretty wild.
I think it's going to differentiate towards the back end.
Oh, dude.
I'm 20 through 32 was tough.
So hard. So hard.
20
were
the hardest.
the bottom 3 hard or no?
Can I
the worst in the league? Were they hard?
Give me your number one. Give me your 32 team, and I'll give you mine.
No, don't spoil that.
No, Alex, just be patient. Be patient, Alex.
Don't spoil that.
Be patient. We will come back. We have 3-week installment of this.
I can't wait.
This is great. This is great.
Yeah, no, I will say 22 through 32 for me was impossible because it was
tough.
Oh God, I don't even want to look at it. And then I was like, oh God, I have a client on this team. Oh God.
This offensive line's terrible, except for my client. She's done an awesome job.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get to Mike's here, a shout out to our friends at Aura, the sponsor of today's podcast. We're talking about offensive lines securing their quarterbacks. Aura comes in with all-in-one protection to secure you and your family from identity theft, scams, online threats across all your devices. Prices start at just $12 a month, but you can get a free trial, 2-week free trial, by going to aura.com/O-line committee. That's AURA.com/O-line committee, which right now is one of the best things you can do to help grow this show. Just go do that 2-week free trial, aura.com/O-line committee. You ever put your name into a Google search? Yeah, there's a lot of things about you that you might not want on the internet. That's where Aura comes in. You ever wonder what your kids are doing on their phones? Well, you can block harmful content and manage how much time your kids spend online. Or you can just ban your kids from having phones until they're 30, like Alex. Aura.com/O-line committee. Aura.com/O-line committee.
You thank me later. You will. I swear you all will. You'll all be like, God, you're a genius, Boone. I know.
I want to give you guys the first mic here. We identify mics every week on the show here. Things of interest in the football world. Marcedes Lewis is my mic. I don't know if you guys saw this, but he just agreed to a contract back with the Chicago Bears for his age 40 season. This dude was drafted in 2006 by the Jacksonville Jaguars. He will become the first player to catch a pass from both David Garrard and Caleb Williams in the NFL.
That's insane, dude.
Marcedes Lewis. Most guys, by the time you hit 28, 29, you're like borderline cooked in the NFL. Injuries or your speed slows off. This was Marcedes Lewis's draft class. Mario Williams, Reggie Bush, Vince Young, DeBrickashaw Ferguson, A.J. Hawk, Vernon Davis, Matt Leinart, Jay Cutler, and a bunch of others.
Dude,
also,
a lot of those guys
Greenway.
A lot of those guys have had second careers and retired from them already before they and he's still in there just.
AJ Hawk's gotten the
Mario
got
Williams,
the bag in media.
Dude, remember Mario Williams?
Years.
I had to play Mario Williams one time, and it was I was a rookie, and I was like, "You got to be fucking kidding me!" And he came out with the red eyes, and I was like,
"Dude, he looked like a creative player."
Dude, he was. I'm telling you, I touched him.
He looked like the guy on Madden where you're like 99, 99, 99, 99, 99.
Dude, he hit me with the hand swipe so fast. I went to the sideline like, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what happened. And this was back when they had the pictures. So it was like the start. And then the 2 steps in, he's already by me. And they were like, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck yourself? That dude is insane.
Yeah,
it was awesome. It was awesome to play him.
Yeah, but you're 19, dude. That's
dude.
Insane.
Good for him.
How do you put?
You,
so
you know how you do it.
He's older than you guys. He's way older than Jay.
Here's how you do it. You take good fucking care of yourself constantly, and that's how this league is changing. I will say this: sometimes it gets a little weird when you see guys playing forever. Like you're like, dude, give it up. But when they see how much these guys care about themselves and how much preparation they put into their body, how well they eat, how well they take care of it, you're like, you know what, dude, play for fucking ever if you can. Good God, son. Because there used to be like the guys would come in and be like, one more year, man. One more motherfucker, and I'm out of this bitch. And now they're coming in like, I feel great. I can run routes all day. It's amazing. And you got to be excited for these guys because, dude, to play that long, it's fucking awesome, bro.
Here's a question. How many reps do you think he takes in training camp?
None. That's stupid. Zero reps.
That dude's gonna do individual.
How many?
And then chill.
How many reps is he taking in season on Wednesdays? None.
Zero.
How many on Thursday? Zero.
Maybe 7-on-7 on Thursday, and then Friday he'll do the kind of the jog through on Friday, and then he'll be ready to go on Sunday.
Done. Dude, that is awesome. Good for you, dude. Seriously, if you can play forever, because you're just kicking that insurance down the.
Dude, that 401k plan.
He's gonna get his retirement before he's fucking. Jesus. Good
his
for
cap
you,
plan,
dude.
His cap plan, his 401k plan, that line of
That's
duty,
got to be
that's
maxed.
all going to be fat.
It's got to look like it's probably 9 figures at this point.
Dude, you know
Jesus,
the NFL's
brother.
like, do we have to keep matching this? Do we? Like, yep, you sure do. You got to keep on matching this, baby. 19 years.
19 years times what? What is it? 41,000.
It's a big number.
That's
It's
almost
very-
$1 million,
it's a very
and you
large-
have to assume that it's already made money for the last 15 years. That's
been
probably a
averaging
$5 million
7.5%.
401k, dude. I'm not kidding.
right
It's
now
probably $5
to this
million.
like, and by the time
It's probably
he's,
today $5 million.
Yeah, I mean, by the time he gets to 65,
65, it'll be 30 million. Are you
It's gonna be
fucking
absurd.
kidding me? Welcome
Wait.
to a second career.
Wait. So just real quick. So the NFL, like most normal humans who work a job at a non-NFL company, their company might match up to like 4% of their salary.
Which is
so the
such bullshit.
NFL's not matching a percentage of. Otherwise, they'd be matching Geno Smith $30 million. So they're matching up to what, $40,000?
$24,000.
Yeah,
They match
24.
you.
It's a
You
it's a
put in
cap.
17.5 and they put in 24, and that's what the max is
Okay.
every year. And so you have to assume that he did that over 19 years, $41,000, dude. You fucking making money. And by the way, you know the market took a massive upswing like 4 years ago, so he probably had 3 in there, and it took him at dude. Fuck.
He's also made by the way, as a non.
And you
player.
you didn't even think about his contracts. Jesus.
$63 million as kind of a good solid starting to back up tight end throughout the years.
That's
I just want to say that's
$63 million.
amazing. 40 years old, still in the NFL in today's
Plus,
NFL is unheard.
playing in the line of scrimmage.
Playing a
too.
kid's
like this
fucking
dude.
game,
This
dude.
kid's
Good for
not a
you.
slot receiver. Like
No.
this dude's been in line, like next to the tackles his whole career. Like that's what he's made his hay. So yeah, I agree with him. I got a mic.
I got one after you, and it's gonna be awesome.
My mic is star pass rusher
Don't do
Haason
it.
Reddick. Haason Reddick.
Oh.
Haason Reddick has not shown up to mandatory Jets minicamp.
Here
He
we
was
go.
the only player not in attendance. He also states that he has not talked to Robert Saleh one time
He's
since
a
being
moron.
traded.
By the way,
since being
he's a
traded
fucking
to the
moron.
Jets.
He's a moron. You're an idiot.
What
Lie.
are we doing? What are
Lie.
we doing? Like, why are you not there? And I highly doubt he may have not talked, but I guarantee you Robert Saleh has reached out to him.
Oh,
Like,
guaranteed.
I guarantee you he can say all he wants. Oh, I haven't talked to him. I haven't done this. But I promise you, with every part of my being, that head coach has attempted to reach out to the star pass rusher that you traded for and be like, where are you? Why are you not here? What is going on? And I am so confused as to why he's not there. I don't understand. Like,
It's great. This is great.
show up.
He wants
He's
a
like
new
the Jets
contract,
thing.
right?
I know
Is
you
that-
want a new contract, but like, dude, it's a brand new team. It's one thing when you're wanting a new contract from your team, but like, dude, no one knows you there. No one knows what you're about. No one knows what you're like how you are in the room, how you are as a player, how you are as a guy. Like, you need to come, do your work, show up, and then the money will come. Like, he stands on his sacks and everything. He's a great player, but that whole situation is kind of a disaster that they didn't even really intend to happen. Like, they thought it was going to be happy. We're going to bring him in. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Has generationally great leader Aaron Rodgers reached out to him via text?
I guarantee it.
I feel
Dude,
like
I
this is
guarantee you,
something the
like,
star
everyone's
quarterback
probably reached-
could put
Can
to
I
bed
just
pretty
say-
quickly.
But at this point, I think everyone else is probably like, screw this dude. Like, I think initially everyone's probably like, man, why? We want you here. What's going on? But after a while, they're going to be like, what? Why aren't you here, man? Like, what's going on? Now, Alex
Question.
can maybe speak to this more from the holdout side because he's done it. Like, but I just don't understand this whole creating drama piece in the NFL right now.
Well, number one, you can't hold out because the NFLPA.
Yeah, they
got rid
find
of
the
it.
crap out of him.
Remember, that was fucking stupid. When the minute that they were like, "Yeah, you can fine us for not showing up to work," was the day that the NFLPA should have fired themselves and been like, "Wait a minute, we just fucked ourselves." So now it's a hold in. Whatever it is, if you don't show up to the mandatory minicamp, it is an automatic fine. No matter what the team tries to do, you have to get fined by the team or by the league because that was back then setting the precedent. But my question is, because I know when you get traded, they ask you, hey, if we come to your team, are you going to fucking pay this dude? Because if not, why the fuck are we coming here? Like, there's no point. I'm wondering if the Jets were like, yeah, fucking get you a new deal. Trade happens. All of a sudden, it's like, let's just wait 3 months, though. And all of a sudden, he's like, wait a minute. You said there'd be a new deal. And it's like, yeah, but you got to work a little bit first. No, you said there'd be a new deal. Like, I want to know more. I want to hear more.
For sure.
Because if he's just not showing up because like they were like, yeah, we'll give you a new deal after you prove yourself to us this year, halfway through the year, we'll work something out. Like, let's just go start some shit. And he's not showing up, then yeah, you're fucking stupid. And you're just pissing off a whole team that traded. What didn't they give up a first rounder for him?
I don't remember the details of the trade, but
second,
I believe.
Like you give up something really high like that and the dude doesn't show up for work, like you're setting a really shitty precedent. But such a Jets thing. They're still going to win the division, right, Jay?
Yep.
Them in there.
There's always just weird drama, weird friction. Something
Jets.
goes sideways with this team.
Woody Johnson needs to sell the team. That's what needs to happen.
They traded for a 2026 third-round pick that can become a second-round pick if specific terms are met.
Yeah.
So it's a third-round pick that could come into a second-round pick.
It's going to be an AB situation.
But if you're the Jets, you make the trade knowing that, yeah, he wants a new contract.
Like, he wants a new contract.
You don't make the trade unless you're willing to give him a new contract. So if you're the Jets, why not just give him a new contract?
Where's their cap space right now? Where they at?
I'd have to dive pretty deep into
just go to sports.
Cap space
somebody look on you.
Here, I got you guys.
You can
the
look it up in
department is on it right here. So current
our R&D is working.
There's things they can do too. There's probably like they could convert some contracts, but currently right now in the NFL, the Jets have $6.1 million in cap space.
There's your problem.
We
have no fucking money, dude. What do you want us to do? Like, and now all of a sudden, hey, we just traded for you, and we're gonna ask guys on our team that have been bleeding green for a long time to give up their money for you. You imagine how the fuck that's gonna go? Hey, we just traded for this guy, hasn't played it down for us, but you're gonna take $10 million less because we're gonna pay him. You're gonna be like, the fuck I am, bitch.
Well, and they signed Tyrone Smith. Yeah, right? Like they brought in like there's other money to be spread
Morgan
around.
Moses.
They do have the 7th most cap space next year though. So they do have.
And that's probably what they said to him. Like, hey, dude, we have a ton of money next year. Come out here, fucking play some ball with us. We'll pay the shit out of you in New York, and you can do whatever the fuck you want. Not a good look to not show up. By the way, nowadays it's not a good look to not show up in mandatory minicamp. Like,
at least
if anything,
you don't have to practice.
You go.
Just show
and
up.
You don't say a fucking word. If you have to be a dick, you be a dick. It's business on both ends. You talk to your boys, your friends. Coach comes over. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Hey, we should talk later. No, we shouldn't. You should talk to my agents. Stop talking to me. Talk to them. The fuck I got to do with any of this? Like, get tough with them, but you don't have to stay away from the team because now, looking back, shit like that is such a distraction, dude. Mm-hmm. Such a fucking distraction. As opposed to you just showing up and being like, yeah, we're whatever. It's business. We're cool. My hamstring hurts. And then rub your bicep. I don't fucking care. They don't care, right?
Ear infection.
Ear infection. Oh, God, I don't know.
My equilibrium.
It's off a little bit.
All
right.
That's funny. Dude, I mocked TJ Hawkinson for like 3 weeks on Purple Daily.
Did you get one?
And then karma struck me. I got the worst ear infection I've ever had, like a week after he signed his contract.
You're an idiot.
And there's no way I could have put a helmet on if I was playing football. So, TJ, if you had an ear infection, I apologize. Okay,
I got nervous
because
I thought Jay took mine. He was talking about star pass rushers. And this guy, and this is going to be a topic that I'm excited to see where this goes. But this guy just came out and fucking sued the NFL because he was saying, how dare you not let me have my cannabis? And I was like, oh my God, somebody finally did it. We've all been waiting for one person to just fucking go knock that door down. And Randy Gregory's doing it. And
Nebraska's finest, by the way.
Dude, no question, hell of a player. And I mean,
so he was fined over $500,000 for positive THC tests.
Correct. What he's saying was
prescribed cannabis.
Prescribed cannabis, which makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of people that we know have prescribed cannabis.
Sure.
They have anxiety.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
I have glaucoma. Yeah,
I had some anxiety on Friday night, actually. It's great.
Whatever it is. My mic is the fact that this is actually happening and someone's actually doing this. He's suing the NFL, which makes me wonder if this is going to be the first thing that makes that wall come down for this league. And not only that, but dude, how much is that going to change this league? And it's been so
it already. Here's the thing.
But that's the whole point. Guys don't have to hide anymore, and it's not a fucking big secret.
But it's not. And here's how I've always viewed the weed deal with the NFL. Right? NBA doesn't have it. NHL doesn't have it. MLB doesn't have it. But the NFL feels like they hold themselves as like, we are the pristine professional sports league out of all professional sports leagues.
We are the moral compass.
We are
of America.
exactly like we are the stride and true. And so to the public, of course we test our players for weed, right? Of course we do it. How dare us not? But behind the scenes, they have raised the levels, right? You measure for THC in nanograms. They've raised the levels to an absolutely absurd amount that can be in your system.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, they tell you when they're going to test you.
Which they didn't used to.
It's an open book test. And I remember I asked the guy at one point towards the end of my career, I was like, how do I fail this? Like, is it? And he goes, did you hit the bong last night? I go, no. He goes, then you're fine. Right? Like, it's literally to that point. But it's just such an NFL thing that I feel like Roger Goodell and the whole league office is like, no, we are the moral compass. We will always have this. We're role models to society. Like, and this, Boone, you're right. And this may come crashing all down, but I think they're going to fight it tooth and nail to not let this happen.
Here's why. How many former players can come back now and sue the NFL? Like, think about it. Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon could come back and sue the motherfucking shit out of every owner and be like, how dare you have fined me that much and kept me in suspensions for years and years and years when, God damn it, we're smoking a fucking flower. Like, what is the big deal? Guys just don't want to be in pain anymore. Leave them alone. That's exactly why they're doing it. It's not to sit on the couch and be lazy. Nobody in the NFL is fucking lazy. They're in the NFL for a reason.
Do you think, hey, on the Josh Gordon front, so his career was derailed by suspensions and addiction to marijuana,
Phenomenal
right?
Player, yes.
If he would have been allowed to play, just, hey, dude, smoke as much weed as you need to get through the day and the season, would he have stayed on the field? Would he have been a regular 8, 9, 10-year player?
Yes, dude, I saw him in Seattle firsthand. Fucking cut out of marble. I was like, oh my God, are you a receiver or a fucking linebacker? And they were like, dude, he's incredible. And then I watched him do warm-ups, and they were doing the jugs machines from like 5 feet away at like 100 miles an hour, and it was like one-handed thump, 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 thump. I was like, dude, this dude is insane. They were like, right, too bad he just can't get on the field. I was like, what? Oh, that's right. They're like, yeah, dude, he smokes a lot of weed. And I was like, what a
same way.
What a shame, dude. What a fucking shame that all these guys are like, oh yeah, you can't smoke weed. And it's like, take this pill instead. Jesus Christ.
That's the thing, because you're going to turn to something. You turn to alcohol.
You have
to. There's things you turn to. So what's crazy now is, and I think the NFL tends to just, because they would like the country to set some sort of precedent first, and then they can follow, right? Because they don't want to be leading the charge.
They want it to federally be legal.
They are the bald eagle on the flagpole of America, right?
I got to be honest with you. If the NFL dropped it, I bet you federally it would become legal. I'll bet you anything. Oh, bullshit. Have you met the dudes running the league?
We can get in the weeds on this, but I think until they can figure out a way to test for it like they do for a DUI, I don't think federally they'll make it legal. Like, because they need to have a way to test in real time how high are you if something happened. Right,
dude. It's right now. So medical marijuana is legal in 38 states and DC, and recreational is in 24 states now.
Yeah, it's legal. That's why the guys in the league are saying this is bullshit. You can legally smoke it in this state. I just can't do it because I'm in this league. And that was one of those things that everyone would always say, if you don't like it, quit. And you'd be like, good point. Good fucking point.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's still kind of like, if I own a business, I can still drug test my business and decide what my policy is on it. And that's where they're going to rest on, like, well, it's a privatized company.
I think,
right? Like, we can set our own laws with this, and like you can try and get around it. But at the end of the day, like, you broke the law that was our law. And therefore, there was rules to this. And yes, rules change over time. So I'm going to be really, I'm with you, Alex. This is a really curious case to follow and see how it all plays out. Set a precedent for, like you said, a lot of players coming back at the league for this.
Oh, absolutely.
On top of the league getting sued for DirecTV and Sunday Ticket and all that. Like,
that's wild.
That one.
They are in some shit.
They're digging into the coffers, boys, because they're gonna have to try and settle. They're gonna have to try and settle that out quickly.
So does that mean that just regular idiots like me and just fans might just get a check someday?
I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Here's $500 for being an NFL fan that we screwed over.
Super, super interesting.
I got some dumb football questions for you guys loaded up here. We also have a film breakdown this week dropping on one of the most explosive running backs last season, Devon Achane. So keep an eye out for that on the O-Line Committee YouTube channel. If you haven't already, please click the subscribe button and the like button too on the O-Line Committee YouTube channel. We're up over 20,000 subscribers in 1 year, so thank you guys for jumping on board here. And you can always submit your dumb football questions in the YouTube comment section. No question is too dumb to bring up here. Let's start with this one. Stewie Fly wants to know, what can you guys share with us about NFL equipment managers? Any fun stories? Who are the best and who are the worst? You want to throw any random bad NFL equipment managers under the bus? Like what does an NFL equipment manager do and what does he mean?
They are your boys.
Forever. Dude, you want to talk about the dudes? I mean, like the
deflator
dudes. Like, hey,
They're the
I
best.
need you guys to sneak something into the carts. Yeah, dude, no problem. Could get us all in a lot of trouble. Yeah, no problem. Fucking love you. Like, the answer with them is never no.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll fucking do whatever you need them to do. But I'm going to warn you, at the end of the year, there's greens fees. Everybody on that fucking team pays greens fees. Everybody. And they pass this sheet around and it automatically gets deducted from your check. And I can tell you right now that you get judged by how much you put in. And that is now no bullshit. Like, dudes are throwing in 10 bands, 20 bands. You're giving money to the fucking cooks, the chefs. Like, there are certain people that you take care of. Cooks and chefs, EQ, trainers. Don't you ever fuck with those three. Because if you do, they'll cut you. I'm not even kidding you. They'll fucking cut you. EQ has a problem with someone, nobody can save you.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis Ryan was the scariest man because I didn't Vikings. I didn't know his personality, right? And I had come from San Francisco where it was like, bro, there are no rules. Let's just do what we want. Like, shit. My locker was like Christmas every day. Like, it was like, hey, I got to get some shit home to some people. And all of a sudden, box. Boone, you need us to ship this for you? Appreciate y'all, man. Like, but and they also do squares. We would do squares with them. Like we did. You never do squares during baseball season. You know where you buy squares in baseball and like the numbers have to line up. So you have you pick this grid and then we're going to do squares. It's during the baseball playoffs and you get a grid.
It's like
the 0 to 9. Yes. And the score of the game.
It's common for like March Madness.
Yes.
There's a lot of,
You have to remember, baseball's not my thing, boys.
Oh, no, dude. But this wasn't my thing either. This is how I kind of got into baseball, was this game.
This is how Jake could get into baseball, where you're not rooting for anything except for the score. To be specifically
you just want
5-4.
Right. Hey, dude, it's a lot. And hey, I'll tell you what, too. They are awesome guys because if you're cool with them, they'll pack up your bag for you. Like, I won't say they'll pack up your bag because no one's packing your fucking shit for you. But they'll look through it real quick when you're done to be like, hey, you forgot your knee braces. Or they'll be like, hey, you forgot your, whatever. Or, hey, you told me earlier in the week you wanted to pack those extra cleats. You want me to throw these in here? Like, yeah. Fuck, thank you so much. They only do that with the boys they like. After that, there are guys that they would forget their shoulder pads. And they would be like, well, I guess Dum Dum's not playing this week. And just throw it on the bus. And you'd be like, for real? They'd be like, yeah, fuck him. You'd be like, yeah, fuck him.
Sounds good.
If you left your locker area a mess, they hated you. Like, if you would just throw your tape on the ground and leave your lunch trash and stuff, like, they hated you. Right? Because they're the ones that have to pick that up. That's their job, is to go through and make the locker room look presentable. And so, you always had your guy, right? Like, Terrell Barnes from the Vikings was my guy. He was my guy. He's still there.
Yeah, so is Adam.
Right, and still is Adam. Like, because you always have a guy where, like, if in the middle of practice you rip a glove or like something's wrong, you'd be like, hey, T, glove. And he'd be like, I got you. And he'd take off. I mean, dead sprint. This dude was
fucking
like 100, I'm talking 100-meter dash, form sprint, into the line, like, and he'd come sprinting right back out, brand new pair of gloves. You need anything else? You good? Like, I got you, man. Thank you. Right. And so there's the sheet, like Alex said, where you tip out everyone as a whole, but then you would always tip out your guy individually even more. Like, I would always like Tom, was the trainer's Tom Hunkley, right? He was the guy that taped my ankles every day.
Love Tom.
He was the guy that if I had a rehab issue, I went in there and he was the one that I did my rehab with. And so, like, at the end of the year, you tip out the trainers as a whole, but then you go to your guy and be like, hey, thank you for taking care of me this year. Same with the cook, right? You always have your guy, right? The guy in Buffalo, his name was Bill. dude he made it his job to remember your breakfast order every single morning. So when you would walk into the cafeteria, you'd be like, Bill, good morning. He'd be like, 2 eggs, sausage, crispy hash browns. I'll have it out in 2 minutes. Thank you, Bill. And you'd go sit down, and then he'd
Buffalo
walk it
Bill.
out to you.
Dude.
Right? Like, you always have your dudes. Now, I will say, in San Diego, my rookie year, I can't remember the guy's name, but he got fired for stealing from
Equipment?
Yes.
This is a big thing. This is a big thing.
Yeah, he got fired for stealing and selling stuff.
Yep. They sell
So
it
like official team merch kind of stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, and he got caught. He got caught for stealing official team merch, or like, hey, this is a game worn Phillip Rivers glove or something like that, and he got caught selling it on eBay, and so he got fired. I don't even remember his name because I was only there for
Yeah,
the
you
year.
probably shouldn't have your screen name on eBay be official Chargers trainer.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
but yeah,
that is a
day.
big thing. Guys steal stuff, and that is the number one rule in the locker room: is you can never ever take anything out of EQ unless you ask them. Like
Yes.
as long as you ask them, the answer will always be yes, unless it's like a limited product. Like I remember one time when I first
like
came in the league.
the camo hoodies.
Yeah,
right? Like,
you
or
can't take the
crucial,
camo hoodies.
the crucial catch. Like when you only
Yeah.
get a finite amount number.
They'll
but like,
give you them at the end of the year, but you can't take them until they give them to you, right? Like
Yeah.
those are the ones that they're like, hey, we need these for coaches and guys on the sidelines at all
Yes.
times because they're official gear. But at the end of the year, Booney, I'll put a couple away for you. And you'd be like, oh, appreciate you, dude. Thanks so much. You ever get caught stealing something out of EQ, you will get fined in every room. The team will fine you, and then they're going to cut you afterwards. So they're going to take your check from you, your last one, and then they're going to fucking cut you, dude. They hate that shit. But dude, EQ is the best. We loved him.
Yeah.
T. Adam still there at the Vikings. I wish Dennis was still there. He retired 2 years ago.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, they
but-
were
Awesome.
and
And dude,
they
Dennis
always
went
loved the
back
alignment.
Dennis went back to like the I
Purple
think
People
the
Eaters,
Bud
didn't he?
Grant days. Yeah, so he
Yeah.
saw like late
I'm
70s.
telling you, if you
early
ever
80s.
want to ask stories,
They have
ask the
best.
EQ guys because they're in the locker room, right? Like the trainers in the training room, like coaches, but like the EQ guys, they hear all and they
Everything.
see all
They
because they're
know
just
all the
walking
secrets.
around picking up towels, they're picking up laundry bags. Like if people could write a book about the inner workings of the NFL, it would be a collection of all 32 equipment managers,
Dude,
And
he's
they
not
could
lying.
tell-
That'd be a great book.
The stories that those dudes could tell of what they've seen over the years would rattle so many people.
Let's grant
like,
them
dude,
all
I'm talking like
anonymity.
Hey,
people would be
no.
reading it just shaking. Like there's
You're
no
not
way
kidding.
that
If
actually
you-
happened. Like, oh no,
If you change some of the names in the book, I bet you that'd be a number one bestseller because
100%.
you're so used to seeing them around that you're not afraid to talk
Yeah.
around them because not only that, they kind of bait you into shit. They kind of start telling you about what they did in the weekend, and then you're like, yeah, well, let me tell you what the fucking rookie did. What a dumbass. And instantly you're like, oh shit, I just told EQ about what we did. Oh fuck. Hey, don't tell anybody. And you're like, and then you start to think like, guarantee you they're all in there talking about it right now.
For sure.
But they are awesome dudes. They keep secrets better than anybody. The best part is, I don't know if I should say this, but like on game day, they're all hungover, which is even better because the night before they always go out. Like we would come up from meetings and they would be going down.
Yeah,
And they'd be
all
like,
dressed,
you guys
dressed to the nines.
to the nines. They'd be like, you guys going to bed? Getting ready for curfew, pussies? Fuck you, man. They're like, we're going to go out till 4 a.m. Hopefully we don't forget your stuff tomorrow. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh God. Oh God. And here's another thing. Shout out to Doc, San Francisco. Doc was the one that would always tape me up. Jay, did you have a guy that would like do your pads for you because you'd have to hold your
Adam.
arms up? And
Adam was my guy. I'd be like,
Adam
help.
did me
And
here.
you
Yep.
hold your
And Doc
hands
did
up.
me, and so they were so tight. Your jerseys were so tight. You have to hold your arms up like this, and it'd be like rolled up. You'd be like, quick! I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And they'd like tighten your stuff for you, and then rip it all down. And then they'd always punch you before you go out. You're like, dude, I'm telling you, EQ, every one of you guys, I fucking love you to death. Like those guys, you can't do it without them. They're so funny. None of them are ever serious. They are almost like their job is to make you laugh at all times. Like they'll just come in and say the dumbest shit, and you'll be like, what?
My-
You're like, right?
My last quick story. So my college EQ guy is like Dennis. He's been here through all the regimes. Jay Terry, been here through them all. And the best is Coach Bo used to make him during our scrimmages. He would be the ball spotter.
Bo Pelini, right?
Bo Pelini, yeah. And so and he still to this day does it. I think he secretly loves it. And so he'd be like, he was tackled 2nd and 8, and we'd be like, what the hell, Jay? That was a 4-yard run. He'd be like, and he'd like get super rattled, and he'd be running around, and even sometimes Bo would get on, be like, get the ball set, and he'd like run around, or like if the headsets would go off on the sideline, it was like he was so paranoid about the headsets not working, he'd have like 3 pairs of like spares on him at all time. Like, he'd have like 2 around his neck, he'd be wearing one, and if all of a sudden the headset got out, or Pelini used to break them all the time, he'd be like, here you go. Like it was incredible. I love
that. Was
dudes.
Doc. That was Doc
They're the
Dressler
best.
in San Francisco. I fucking love him. I do. Johnny out there. God,
I still bring my kids in there and be like, you guys want a t-shirt? Want a hat? You want to take some gloves? I'll be like, yeah. They're like, oh, perfect. Just empty. Like, they're the best. Love you, kids.
So we learned eBay, good business opportunity, a book, like a shadow author book, some good business opportunities here. Tony Owens. We should legitimately try and make that happen. Tony Owens in the YouTube comment section says, what the heck is a quality control coach in the NFL? What do they do?
We kind of wondered the same thing. All right, so listen. When I was here, it was Janoko.
And you're like,
what? So,
what do you do here? I control the quality.
He would
Okay.
sit in the back of the room and just be like, and we'd be like, "What do you do?"
He had became like a quarterback's coach at one point. So you start
like there's these
there.
weird rules with them where like you can't actually like coach. No. Like a lot of them are like wannabe coaches, but like there's strict rules that like you can't speak, you can't help guys. Like
wasn't Kevin Stefanski a Vikings quality control coach
long time ago?
A lot of the
quality all the way up.
A lot of the quality control guys' main jobs are drawing scout cards.
Yes.
Which, if you ask me, the worst job in the NFL,
easily,
it's the scout team coordinator of like, hey, we need you to draw 50 cards every single day to script out all of practice. And you've got to make sure the cards are right, because nothing will piss off a coach more. And I do mean this. Nothing will piss off a coach more than if the scout card is wrong. Like, I mean, I've seen
the fucking
like,
safety's not supposed to be.
He's gonna stand here, not here. Did you watch the tape? And the guy's just holding the card up, like, and especially like, dude.
Remember
those
Hank?
dudes?
We get on Hank so bad. Fuck Fraley.
Yeah, I was terrible this when I was with Buffalo. I used to watch the scout card as the center when I was running the scout team as for the center, and I'd be like, they're not gonna do that. And he'd be like, yes, they are. I'd be like, okay, sure. And then I'd get up to the line and be like, hey, safety stop, we're going left. And then like we'd go left and pick up the blitz like right into the teeth. And McDermott would be like, what the And I'd be like, hey, sorry, coach. I saw it. The scout guy's like, I will stab you, Sirles. I will stab you if you don't just do what the fucking card says. I'm like, all right, whatever, run it again. Oh yeah, those quality control guys that have to like draw those cards, so stressful.
It's the worst.
Stressful.
They take this shit from everybody, and not only that, you have to take it from the players too, because we're all looking at them too, like quality control, huh?
Yeah. So basically, your job is just all of the bitch work that needs to be done. And if you can prove that
shit rolls downhill and
you can do it, you can be a coach. Though, if you can do it, they'll let you be a coach.
Maybe you can be the assistant offensive line coach after you go through it.
Shit rolls downhill and you're at the bottom with your mouth open, dude. That's what a quality control coach is.
Bottom. Down the gullet. Just a big pile
Wear
of
it
shit.
too.
XT9222 here. Yeah, we got time for another one or two.
Oh yeah.
When the star receiver complains about getting the ball, even when the team is winning, do the players, do his teammates find that annoying, or do they support it? Like, what happens if the game plan was switched to cater to the star player and the team starts losing? Have you guys ever been?
I've never really been a part of that.
This is less common than it seems, I feel like.
Yeah, it's not really like that, but if
like
it would have happened, a lot of us probably would have been like, shut the fuck up. How about that? Like,
well, very rarely does it happen when you're winning.
Yeah,
like you don't
dubs are dubs
unless you're like diva, like and you're winning and it's like you're up by 10 points, whatever. And they're like, why aren't you throwing me the ball? It's like, we're running the ball, stupid. Like we have a lead. Like you usually see more of a riff like that when teams are losing. And like Buffalo last year, for example, is a great example, right? Buffalo struggling down the stretch, and Diggs is like, why am I not getting the football? Right? Like that's usually where you see it, and then that raises a question like, why aren't you getting the football? Are you not open? Is Josh not throwing it to you? Like, are they double bracketing you? Like, there's so many questions that come to it. But, you know, that's where you see it more is when, because it's really easy when you're winning, all is forgiven. Right? Like, you get a dub at the end of the day, everyone's happy. Like everyone's in the locker room, everyone's good, and maybe there's something, but like when you're losing and when you're losing repeated games in a row, multiple games in a row, the finger pointing is really like
It's ruthless.
Is it your fault? It's
No,
not
it's
my
yours.
fault. It's your fault. Right? Like I did my job. It's your fault. Like that starts, and that is a cancer that will kill a team faster than anything I've ever seen before in my life.
And that's also a time that everyone will be like, hey, shut the fuck up. I'm telling you, nothing worse than a player calling for the ball or when to do player-only meetings. God, the minute they say player-only meeting, you might as well just pack it up, call it a day. That's when, guys, we can do this.
We're better than this.
We are so much better than this. We don't need these guys coming here yelling at us like this. Come on. Dude, that's when you're like, hey, let's just shut up and go back to the fundamentals, right? Like, that's what you say to guys when they're do bitch. You're just like, hey, dude, we're winning, or hey, we're trying to figure it out, or hey, we can't fucking throw the ball right now. Why? Because we're missing 2 guards, or we're missing our center, or we're missing something. Like, you gotta fucking chill. And I get it. Like, there's a lot of frustration on the sidelines. I think Jeremiah saw me frustrated a lot, and I was.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of times I was screaming at people, but that's just kind of how it is on the sideline. But I think it's not so much people saying, throw me the fucking ball, as much as it's like, what are we fucking doing? Like, the receivers on the outside are questioning what the O-line are doing. The O-line's questioning what the running backs are doing. The running backs are questioning what the quarterback's doing. Like, everyone's just like, where are we messing up?
Yeah,
we
where's
have
the
10
disconnect?
seconds to
There's
figure
a
it
disconnect
out.
somewhere.
Gotta go right now. No one's ever like, I need the ball. Like, you would see a lot of people go, you're out. Go home.
Well,
Don't ever come
also
back.
if you put yourself in that position, you're putting so much added pressure on yourself. Like, for the rest of the team, like if you're screaming like, give me the ball, I want the ball, and then you go, I don't know, fumble against the Colts when you get the ball after yelling at your O-line, like everyone's gonna look at you and be like, you wanted the ball, dude. What the hell happened? Right? Or if you're like a receiver and you drop a pass and you try and do like, oh, that's my bad. That's my bad. Be like, no, asshole, you asked for this. You asked for this, dude. You were the one that was over here screaming at us 10 seconds ago about just hold your blocks and I'll get this put together. And then you go drop the football. Don't ever speak to me again. Like, don't ever come at me like that again. Like, there's so many of those things. If you're willing, sorry, I get really mad about that. That Colts
Those are
fumble.
just
I was there with you for a minute.
Specific examples.
Hey, I was there with you on both examples for a minute, and I was like, all right, don't go any farther. You're good.
That's all right.
Let it go. Let it go.
My
Let it
blood
go.
pressure's through the roof.
It's good. Good.
But yeah, I mean, if you have the balls to say that to another professional football player, you better be perfect. You better be perfect, because if you're not, guess what? We're all going to let you know about it.
You better be
We're
Tom
all going to be
Brady.
like, hey, I thought you said you were the savior here. Let's run that tape back. Was that you? Oh, that was you. Shut up. Don't ever speak.
Dude, that would be the coaches. The coaches would respond to you like that. Like, they would be like,
yeah, 'cause that's the
wasn't
thing.
it you?
If you're getting on the players like that, and because you're also going to yell at the coach will be the same. Be like, hey, you wanted this. You asked for this, and I put you in the perfect position, and you're the one that let everyone down.
Yeah. Dude, I feel like that happens more when there's an absence of an established quarterback. Maybe there's young guys in the offensive
issues.
line room.
There's just
No
issues
leadership
across the board.
Because there's leaders that are out there all the time, like, shut up right now. Don't you dare. Like, they're thinking like the quarterback's working at a mega level to figure out what's wrong. The O-line is the next to figure out what's wrong. And then everybody else underneath us is like, what's the problem? You're constantly like, shut the fuck up. Who the fuck asked you anyways, moron? Finish what you were saying before we were rudely interrupted. Like, seriously, how many meetings will we be in with the quarterbacks? They'd be like, hey, listen, we're not going to do this. We're going to slide it this way. And all of a sudden, she'd be like, what the fuck? You'd be like, serious right now? Fuck away from us. God. Coaches be like, yeah, get the hell out of here.
Tight ends would try and come in and be like, hey, we're going to do this. Be like, don't speak. Don't speak. Leave. Don't even look
I
at
get
me.
PTSD from them. False advertising. Here's what we're going to do, guys. You shut the fuck up right away. You're not making any more calls. You making calls got us in this situation.
I'll tell you this. The tight ends in 2016, the tight ends and Boone got into such an issue that our O-line coach stopped coaching us throughout the entire second half.
Listen, here's what happened. We kept running power. It was a juicy
One back
front.
power.
We are going to run this juicy front. It's a 4-2 defense. You got Fletcher Cox at 3 technique. Finally get a little bit on him. We are like, I need you to go all the fucking way down to the mic, okay? Just get the fucking mic. They're like, okay. Every time the mic makes the play, I come off the field and Tony's like, we're not getting the mic. And I go down there and I go, hey, You said you would get the mic. Mike is 50-fucking-8, in case you didn't fucking know. They're like, okay, yeah, we got him. Next series, 3 and out. And not getting the mic. Took helmet, threw it. It's like, I'm fucking gonna get the mic myself then. And Tony's like, you're yelling at me. Dude, they caused me and Tony to start riffing at each other. I was so
Dude,
hot.
Tony got so mad. He spiked the iPad. Right? Tony spikes the iPad and was like, fine, you do it then, and walks away. And we're like, all right, everyone calm down. We'll be fine. We go do our next series. We come back. We sit on the bench. Tony's nowhere to be found. And we're like, where's Tony? And we look down at the edge. He's just standing. And we're like, all right, guess we're just rolling in this one with the rest of what we got here, boys. Let's just figure it out and go. It was bad.
It would have just gotten the mic.
Was this bad. The game where
2016 Philly
Mike Zimmer called the offensive line out after you guys
said we were playing
lost?
soft? Yeah.
Did he slice up stuffed animals and put blood on them, or was that?
That was after That was after the 5-0 start, and it was the fat cats get slaughtered.
Fat
cats get slaughtered was the theme. And I remember we walked into the locker room. We're like, what's up with the stuffed animal massacre in here, dude? Like, there's just headless cats with like red marker drawn across. But the problem was, like, so did the media. Like, the media was allowed in the locker room, and the media was like, what's with the stuffed animals, boys? And we're like, we don't know. Like, we don't understand what's happening.
It's a crime scene. Don't touch anything.
Yeah.
Police.
Yeah, but then we got their team meeting, and the theme was fat cats get slaughtered. And guess what? We got fucking slaughtered.
We got fucking slaughtered, boys. Hey, I will say this. The next day, I remember walking into work, and I was like, me and Tony are gonna have to make up for this. Like, we're gonna have to do something. We hadn't spoken the whole day. And I remember I walked upstairs. And you remember how you would walk up and you could go left or right? Right was Zims and left was assistants.
Yep.
As soon as I turned to the left, Tony was standing right there. Like, he had been, like, somebody had told him I was coming up steps. He was just standing there like this, waiting for me. Boone, you ever fucking yell at me like that again, I'll fucking kill you. Tony, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yell at you. I was like, my frustration was really at the time. I said, Boone, you ever fucking yell at me like that again in front of anybody, I'll fucking kill you. Tony, I'll never yell at you like that again. He goes, okay, I love you. Now get the fuck out of here. Oh, thanks, Tony.
What a legend, man.
I know, man. It's a shame. You know,
people,
I miss Tony.
If you haven't, I think it's on YouTube, but he did a thing because he was the Raiders coach for a minute, right?
Yeah, he was the intern.
They got off to a bad start or something, or maybe, they fired a coach.
Hugh Jackson, right? They fired Hugh Jackson.
Okay. And he takes over, and he gives a speech. He's got a shovel. We're going to bury this football in the ground. We're going to bury everything that's happened. It's going in this grave. Whatever you want to put in here. Put footballs, whatever. One of the great Tony speeches, man.
Dude, he used to go into his room and all the lights would be off and he'd have like a couple candles lit and you'd be like, what the fuck? And he'd be like, my wife came in here and decorated for me. I think she does a great job. His room smelled amazing. You'd watch film. You weren't upset about anything. Like, you were like, this is fucking great. Do more of this. And then he had a little secret room in the corner that nobody else had. It was like a secret closet. I'd be like, what are you doing there, Tony? But none of your goddamn business. My bad, Tony.
Dude, what a legend, man. Those are your dumb football questions here for the week on O-Line Committee. Yeah, hit us up. Send us a bunch more for the summer here because we got a lot more time to go through them until preseason games hit. But, click that like button, the subscribe button on the O-Line Committee YouTube channel. That's Alex Boone, Jeremiah Sirles, Phil Mackey. We'll see you guys next time.